Joe Biden, our president-elect, who will assume office on January 20th noon, is already thinking about 2024. No, not in the way Donald Trump is thinking about as a means to keep him politically alive, so as to keep the GOP under his control, and as a tactic to keep his fundraising machine running, which has been running on and on since 2016. Biden is preparing the ground for the Democratic Party to stay in control of the White House. I don't think Biden is planning to ask for a second term for himself, but he is planning to ask for a second term for the party he represents. And as usual, Biden is going about the business in a methodical, no nonsense, what is the best way to do this calculation? An extremely brutal political calculation that puts winnability over everything else. Biden favors Kamala Harris as the person to pass his baton. That he preferred Kamala Harris over all other contenders in this year's Democratic primary is in itself an indication that he thinks Kamala brings more to the table than anyone else. As Biden's cabinet developed, the one big question that kept lingering around was, will Biden build a team of rivals and keep everyone inside the tent, or will he build a team that's comfortable with each other? Will he bring people from the left and the right of the ideological spectrum, or will he build a centrist team sprinkled with few on the left and the right? Will he bring Warren? Will there be a place for Sanders? Will there be Amy Klobuchar? What about Pete Buttigieg? What about Beto O'Rourke? Biden could have brought any of them and made them the Secretary of State or appointed them to a highly visible position. But he has avoided doing that, and in doing so, he has also avoided a bruising Democratic primary in 2024 where his Secretary of State and his Vice President were forced to rip each other apart, giving more ammunition to the Republican Party to bleed the voter coalition built by the Democrats. By not nominating any of the Democratic presidential hopefuls to the top levels of his administration, Biden is making it clear he expects Kamala Harris to run through the Democratic primary propelled by his endorsement. She will be the person, Biden will tell the country, to carry on the work he started. Biden appointing so many people of color in his administration is evidence that Biden is serious about building the party's base for the future. A small step, but one that can usher change in favor of the minorities who time and again have risen up to help the Democratic Party. Biden could have easily said, hey, I'm going to be here for just 4 years. Let me enjoy the limelight that I have always wanted for decades, put some great people, fight with the Republicans, get some work done, packed his bags, and left. He knows he is not going to contest for the re-election. In a way, that broadened his policy horizon beyond addressing vote banks. But instead of taking the easy route, Biden has taken the hard road to build on the multi-ethnic coalition he built this year, and at the same time pass that coalition to the person who he thinks is best suited to win the election in 2024. Biden's choices for top positions in his cabinet cements Kamala Harris' status as the person who Biden favors to become the next president. You do have to give a slow clap to the man. He may be 78, but he is brutally calculative. He may be abrasive at times, especially when he is provoked, but he was also magnanimous to let go of the disappointment in Kamala Harris when she took a swipe at him during the Democratic primary. Now, Biden is building an administration that is free of any threat to Kamala Harris and an administration that she can smoothly transition into hers if she wins the election in 2024. The GOP has already made it clear that they are going to run on identity politics in 2022 and 2024. It will be white nationalism and it will be radical left. Biden has proved that a centrist coalition that does not fan the flames is good enough to overcome nationalist populism. Kamala Harris's biggest weakness during the Democratic primary was she did not have any idea where to position herself. She had no space in the center because Biden was already there. She couldn't move to the left because Sanders and Warren were purged there. So she got caught up in the middle along with Amy Klobuchar and Pete, and all three of them lost one after another. Just left of center is a black hole within the Democratic Party that continues to swallow best candidates and make them vanish. The advantage that Biden had this year, the centrist moderate tag with name recognition, will immediately be transferred to Kamala Harris in 2024. She will squarely position herself as the moderate candidate, following in the footsteps of Biden, leaving the rest of the field the challenging task of not attacking the Democratic administration but attacking Kamala Harris nonetheless. As a VP, she will inherit all the contact that she needs to raise a ton of money, and with Biden's endorsement, which is pretty much guaranteed now, money will never be a problem for her. Let's just say there will be a Democratic primary in 2024, but there will be no need for it because we already know who the winner is. Fox News also knows this, and they will try to do what they did to Hillary. But you know what? Biden knows what Fox will be up to. The entire media also knows their modus operandi inside out. So we are all ready, and we are not going to allow the right wing to paint any candidate with whatever the brush they choose at whatever the time they choose. And President Biden will make sure that of that. He will shield Kamala Harris as long as it's required and yet keep her visible. That seems to be the plan now. Thanks for watching. If you like, please subscribe.